Hello, welcome to the short vlog about Hurtigruten. And yes, I said I'd talk to you about the added extra costs and what that might mean and things to consider. So the first thing I wanted to mention is the cabins. So we upgraded to a slightly bigger cabin, and this was on the advice of a very nice lady at Hurtigruten herself, talking about space in the room. So in our room, you walked in, the bathroom is on the right hand side, and then there was a double bed, and I would say a full-size double bed. And not only was it full-sized, but you could walk around each side of it, the bottom of it and the other side. So nobody was up against a wall. So I don't know if you're like me, but I really don't sleep very well if I'm squashed up against a wall. I don't like it at all, and I don't know anybody else who does. So actually, when we walked in the cabin, it was much, much better than we thought it would be. And there were two other very, very positive things about it. I mean, my lovely friend Catherine Locke advised on which deck. So the cabins, I think, are on deck 3, 5, 6 and 7. Basically, as you go up, they get more expensive. Deck 7 has the ambassador's suite on it, I think, which is a kind of bedroom plus, whatever. We were on level 6, and Catherine advised level 6 as opposed to level 5. And the reason for that is on level 5 on the boat, there is a deck that goes all the way round. So if you think about a boat and where you might go outside and look over the railings and watch the world go by, it goes all the way round the boat only on level 5. So if your cabin is on level 5, it means that you could have people outside your window any time of day or night. Now, that may not bother you, but on the other hand, if people are there to see the Northern Lights, they may get up at 2 or 3 in the morning and be out there with their cameras and things like that. That was a very useful piece of advice. On level 6, where we were, there is a small walkway, but that is actually for the staff if they're checking the lifeboats. But the lifeboats are all hung round on level 6. So you may be on level 6, but you might not be able to see much out of the window other than an orange lifeboat. We were advised on exactly which room, whereby we had a gap between 2 lifeboats. So yes, there were lifeboats there, but we could see through, we could see daylight, etc., etc. I think if you're down on level 3, you have no windows at all. And for some people, that's not an issue. I remember one lady talking to somebody else on the boat and saying, oh, when I first started coming on these Hurtigruten boats, I didn't mind not having a window. She said, but I'm too old now and I definitely mind having a window. I like, being able to feel the change in light. Obviously, daylight is at a premium the further north you go in the world, and at that time of year. So it was nice to have some daylight. But the people in the office at Hurtigruten will be able to advise you and talk you through what that costs. I can't remember what the difference was, but what I can tell you is we thought it was worth it. And the space in the cabin meant that underneath the bed there was easily room for a suitcase or 2, or indeed we could have got more than 2 under there. Whereas the normal advice on Hurtigruten is don't bring too much because the cabins are quite small. So I did see into some other cabins, and some of them are for 2 people, but with like a single bunk type bed on either side. Bunk's the wrong idea, but up against the wall. So with just a gap down the middle, they look quite tight for space. I don't know whether there were smaller cabins than ours with a double bed or not, because I didn't see any of those. I just saw these ones with a single on either side. Some of the Hurtigruten boats, apparently you can pay a premium if you're there was a guy on the boat who was travelling with a friend, and he'd hoped when he got on it he could pay a small premium and end up in a cabin on his own. That wasn't on offer, and that might be to do with whether the boat is full or not. So that's the first thing that might cost you more money. I mentioned yesterday that if you factor in you're getting 3 meals a day, then, you know, bear that in mind, because it does feel pricey. But actually, we were thinking about it at times when we've gone away, say, to Greece, and you're eating out at least once a day in the evenings or whatever. It tends to not feel as expensive. The other things you can add in, excursions. I have to say, their excursions are expensive. And tomorrow I will talk about specific excursions that we felt were good and the ones we didn't think were so good. But have a look and see what appeals. You get a whole list, and it is generally better to book those in advance because it is cheaper than doing it on the boat. You can do it on the boat. You only pay a little bit more in premium, but of course, if they're fully booked, you can't do it. The other extras are their wine package and stuff like that. Alcohol is much, much more expensive in Norway, but we didn't take a package on alcohol. We just decided that we would buy what we wanted when we wanted, and it most definitely came in cheaper than buying their wine package. You would have to drink quite a lot, and they also offer an all-inclusive of everything, and I'm not sure you could drink enough to make it worthwhile, even at their expensive prices. There are 2 extra restaurants on the boat, so your food includes your general restaurant. Then there's a bistro that you can buy extra sandwiches or coffees. I think we had a Gaelic coffee one day. But, you know, we didn't need any extra food because we were on 3 meals a day. And there's also a high-end restaurant. Very few people seem to eat in there. I don't know how good it was, but I'll talk to you about the food offer along with the excursions tomorrow. So I hope that's cleared some of that up. Friend David did mention it is worth pointing out, and I think I did when I first started posting about the trip, that these are working boats. They're called the post boats, and this will explain why some things are possible and some things aren't, which I'll put into more context tomorrow or the day after. But I'll try and remember that I've said I'll talk about the excursions tomorrow and the food offer. Hope that helps. Thank you.